In 1992, the game Maze Craze marked the beginning of FRC, a beloved high school extracurricular for any innovative students interested in engineering and technology. Since then, FRC has seen dozens of games, some good and some bad, some easy, some hard, some simple, and some more complicated. FRC is 35 years old now, almost twice as old as any of the high school students who participate in it. So, for their 2026 game in the first age season, they decided to rebuild all of their past games into a new creation, a Frankenstein's monster of an FRC game, which they call Rebuilt. Today, I'll be taking a look at some of these past games to see what we can learn from them for Rebuilt. I'm your host, Amy, and welcome to Narwhal Network, an FRC strategy podcast hosted by Team 3128. Let's get started. First, why do we bother looking at past games? When a new game is released, you don't instantly have visuals for what the new game will look like, so the closest reference is similar games that happened in the past. You can see which robot archetypes, features, and strategies worked well, and apply that to the present game. So what games can we look at to apply to Rebuilt? The most obviously similar game to Rebuilt is the 2017 game Steamworks. This game had teams score gears into an airship and fuel into a tank. Similar to this year, the fuel was a small ball that was shot into a high goal, and robots could hold an infinite amount of it. Although most teams focused on the much higher scoring gear game pieces, high-level teams shifted their focus to fuel once they maxed out these gears. A lot of teams built robots with giant hoppers and quick shooters to score as much of this limitless fuel as possible. One notable example that you could take inspiration from is Team 254. Next up on the list is the 2016 game Stronghold. This game was iconic for its rotating system of obstacles called defenses. These obstacles resemble the bump and the trench in Rebuilt. Specifically, the low bar resembles the trench, though we get 22 inches this year instead of 16 inches. The bump is a new obstacle that wasn't seen in Stronghold. Design-wise, it's hard to copy teams from 2016 because the game goals are so different. Robots that could only hold one boulder had different requirements than robots trying to maximize space for fuel. Also, the swerve drivetrains of today weren't as widespread in 2016, but we can still look at 2016 to see how teams fortified their robots against rough obstacles or compacted their space for the low bar without sacrificing too much function. The next game to discuss is Ultimate Ascent from 2013. This was a frisbee game, where robots shot discs into goals of 3 different heights. However, the closest similarity between 2013 and 2026 was the climb. In 2013, robots had to climb a pyramid that had 3 tiers, like a ladder. It was a slanted and taller version of the tower from this year. Though some robots were built tall enough to directly reach the top level, others climbed up each bar like you have to do this year. So if you want to see what a potential climb might look like, check out robots from 2013, but translate their climbs from diagonal to vertical. And now for some honorable mentions. Aim High from 2006 was a basic basketball game, but it was also the first and most recent game where robots had to take turns scoring and defending. 2006, just like 2026, emphasized well-rounded robots that could both score and defend. Another honorable mention is the 2009 game Lunacy. Just like a few other years, Lunacy had a rule that let human players score directly by throwing game pieces into the goals. Robots could choose between scoring by themselves or feeding balls to the human player to score. The 2009 Human Player Station also shares the name of this year's Human Player Station, the Outpost. Then, last but not least, is the game Co-opetition from 2000. This one is similar for its endgame, a horizontal bar hang, basically a pull-up bar, which is kind of 1/3 of the work we have to do this year. So now that we've looked at a bunch of games that have similar qualities to this year, we can just take the best features from the best robots from all those games and mash them together to make the perfect robot, right? Well, not exactly. You still have to make sure all of the features merge well together, as well as fitting with your own team's time, resources, and experience. Plus, Rebuilt is still a new game with its own new challenges and variations. However, these past games can still help us make crucial design and strategy decisions to increase our chances of success this year. And that's the end of this Narwhal Network episode. We post a few times a month, so make sure to stay tuned. I'm your host, Amy. Thanks for watching Narwhal Network, and stay swimming, narwhals.